Land of Lincoln. Land of Lincoln. Lincoln, Missouri, but still the land of Lincoln. We are up here on a pretty good track of Walnut, Lincoln, Missouri. Actually, just a little east and south of Lincoln. Still a Lincoln address, regardless, whatever. Running a full crew today. So Dad and Kenny are up here. Kenny's actually feeling good enough. He wanted to do some cutting today, so he's cutting. Dad's cutting. Kevin's on the little 548 G3. And I've even got Mikey up here kind of following behind me. He's just been topping some trees as I cut them just to speed things up. It's been wet. Surprisingly, it's not as wet as I thought it'd be up here, which we're on some hills, but we've got some timber to cut down here in the river bottom later in the week. But they are calling for more rain. It's that time of year. I hate spring. Hate it. Hate it. I wish I could stay fall and winter forever. Anyway, we're going to try to make haste on this job as quick as we can. It's several trees here. I'm not exactly sure the tree count. Some pretty decent sticks of wood. And if you look behind me, there's a bunch of white oak up here. A bunch of good white oak. It's a fairly good sized farm here. Originally, when I bought this tract of timber last August, the gentleman did not want to cut the white oak at the time. I'm going to ask him again while we're here if he'd be interested in cutting some of them, because there's just some really good white oak timber here. Some stuff I'd really like to put on the ground, especially with the white oak doing what it's doing right now. It's a good time to get rid of it. And we don't come across a lot of white oak down where we live anymore. It's just, it's all been cut out. But I think right here in this kind of central Missouri area around the Lake of the Ozarks, there's a little more white oak. Laying everywhere, logs laying everywhere. Skid steer here's with the grapple. We're going to pile all these tops on this hillside. As you can see, it's Coal Camp Creek way down there. It's a pretty good sized creek. We'll look at it maybe in a later video. Gas up, got a few more. As you can see there, just kind of rough stuff. Kind of get your footage numbers up there a little bit. Those things they're bigger than they look. You know, when I first looked at this timber last August, I'm like, you know, they're not bad trees. They can be cut. We just kind of drove through, me and the landowner did, on those side by side. Get up here and get to cutting. They're actually a little bigger than they look. You can see Mikey sitting on a double there I cut, doing what he does best. Taking 5. Log deck's just on over the hill. We've got some good trees down here in the river bottom. We'll probably try to start cutting on those tomorrow. I guess I never did tell you guys the full story on this thing. I got it back last Monday. They put a new engine in it. 156 hours, something like that. And they put a brand new engine in it. It's hard not to lose faith in John Deere equipment when that's 2 of these things. We've had a 20 model, and this is a 22 model. Each of them, before 200 hours, Deere has put new engines in them. Now, Deere has warrantied them, no questions asked. They've stuck engines in them, but still. The downtime's what kills us, because we buy this new iron to have maximum uptime, run when we need it. And as you guys know, if you're taking 6 weeks off or whatever to put an engine in a machine and still making payments on it, that's not a good deal. Anyway, they're strong little machines when they run right. I mean, I'm not going to badmouth the power and the comfort of it, but it's just I don't know. We've got about a year left with this one, because you guys know we only keep these about 2 years. We get rid of them. We like things with warranties for obvious reasons, but I don't know that we'll go with a 333 again. And I know Deere just come out like a 335, a bigger model of this, but I think a lot of the problem is those got Yanmar diesel engines. Not everything in that machine's a John Deere component. There's a lot of off-brand components in there. I hate to say off-brand, they're just not John Deere brand components. But yeah, so don't know what we'll go back with the Deere in the future. It's still up in the air. Of course, you see it below 333G there. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything bad, but it's hard to say much good. Anyway, we've made a pretty good run today of them. Logs piled up everywhere. Kenny's still dragging logs out. A lot of footage. Hopefully we can run this whole job this week. Everywhere it's just so wet. It's wet here in places. Kenny was making some pretty good ruts today. Landowner said just run it, which we don't like to make any more ruts than we absolutely have to. But he wants it done, and we want to get it done for him. So we've got other places to be too. Some good sticks in here. We haven't got to the real good ones yet. Just a set of lumber up here. There are a few good logs in there, but for the most part, it's lumber. There's always small new ones like that, but to be expected. These little sticks there. Now, as I was saying, over there on the creek, I cut a few down there towards the end of the day. Peach right there. The better trees are all down there along the creek. So we've got this whole hillside up here done. That's what we got done today. Kenny did not get everything drug out that we got put on the ground, but that's okay. Job security for skidder operator. I'm hoping, again, we can run through this thing this week. If the landowner wants to shift gears and cut some of his white oak as well, we'll be here another week. And we still don't know what's on that 80 acres across the river down there. By the looks of it here, it's going to be a bunch of white oak, but we want to get down there along the river and see what's lurking in there. Looking at timber this morning, if I can keep my footing. I know this doesn't look very steep in the videos, but that's steep. That's a long way up there to the top. But the other side's even worse. This is called Old Canyon Road where we're at. And the landowner states that this canyon right here is why they call it Old Canyon Road. And again, I know it doesn't look that steep in the video here, but this is a Bearcat. If I was ever looking for a reason to buy a dozer so I could log a piece of ground, this is it right here. But there's some pretty good sticks of wood here. Both of those, well, three of those. There's three of them right there. That's a hog. That's walnut, by the way. There's some really big white oak in here. Some really big red oak in here. And a lot of big basswood, which I don't know if there's much of a market for that stuff or not. We don't have it back where I live. Get up on the Missouri River here, we get into some of it, but I've never really cut any. I don't know what they do with it. It might just be pallet material. No clue. Old walnuts here on the ground. This is part of what makes my job so interesting and fun, getting to go around looking at places like this. I'm gonna try to walk up that other side. Keyword try.